Hey guys, Britt Albert here. If this is your first time here, I'm a spiritual transformational life coach. It's my goal for this channel to help you overcome the obstacles that are standing in the way of you living your best and most authentic life. This video is video number 7 of the book trilogy Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch. I am so excited about this video, you guys. Although I love everything about this book, this is where I feel like it really starts to get good. So without further ado, here is Conversations with God.
My divine purpose in dividing me was to create sufficient parts of me so that I could know myself experientially. There is only one way for the Creator to know itself experientially as the Creator, and that is to create. And so I gave to each of the countless parts of me, to all of my spirit children, the same power to create which I have as the whole. This is what your religions mean when they say that you were created in the image and likeness of God. This doesn't mean, as some have suggested, that our physical bodies look alike, although God can adopt whatever physical form God chooses for a particular purpose. It does mean that our essence is the same. We are composed of the same stuff. We are the same stuff, with all the same properties and abilities, including the ability to create physical reality out of thin air. My purpose in creating you, my spiritual offspring, was for me to know myself as God. I have no way to do that save through you. Thus it can be said, and has been many times, that my purpose for you is that you should know yourself as me. This seems so amazingly simple, yet it becomes very complex, because there is only one way for you to know yourself as me. And that is for you first to know yourself as not me. Now try to follow this. Fight to keep up, because this gets very subtle here. Are you ready?
I think so.
Good. Remember, you've asked for this explanation. You've waited for it for years. You've asked for it in layman's terms, not theological doctrines or scientific theories.
Yes, I know what I've asked.
And having asked, so shall you receive. Now, to keep things simple, I'm going to use your Children of God mythological model as a basis for discussion, because it is a model with which you're very familiar, and in many ways, it is not that far off. So let's go back to how this process of self-knowing must work. There is one way I could have caused all of my spiritual children to know themselves as parts of me, and that was simply to tell them. This I did. But you see, it was not enough for spirit to simply know itself as God, or part of God, or children of God, or inheritors of the kingdom, or whatever mythology you want to use. As I've already explained, knowing something and experiencing it are two different things. Spirit longed to know itself experientially, just as I did. Conceptual awareness was not enough for you. So I devised a plan. It is the most extraordinary idea in all the universe, and the most spectacular collaboration. I say collaboration because all of you are in it with me. Under the plan, you as spirit would enter the physical universe just created. This is because physicality is the only way to know experientially what you know conceptually. It is, in fact, the reason I created the physical cosmos to begin with, and the system of relativity which governs it, and all creation. Once in the physical universe, you, my spirit children, could experience what you know of yourself, but first you had to come to know the opposite. To explain this simply, you cannot know yourself as tall unless and until you become aware of short. You cannot experience the part of yourself that you call fat unless you also come to know thin. Taken to ultimate logic, you cannot experience yourself as what you are until you've encountered what you are not. This is the purpose of the theory of relativity and all physical life. It is by that which you are not that you yourself are defined. Now, in the case of the ultimate knowing, in the case of knowing yourself as the Creator, you cannot experience yourself as Creator unless and until you create. And you cannot create yourself until you uncreate yourself. In a sense, you have to first not be in order to be. Do you follow?
I think...
Stay with it. Of course, there's no way for you to not be who and what you are. You simply are that pure creative spirit. Have been, always, and always will be. So you did the next best thing. You caused yourself to forget who you really are. Upon entering the physical universe, you relinquished your remembrance of yourself. This allows you to choose to be who you are, rather than simply wake up in the castle, so to speak. It is in the act of choosing to be, rather than simply being told that you are a part of God, that you experience yourself as being at total choice, which is what, by definition, God is. Yet, how can you have a choice about something over which there is no choice? You cannot not be my offspring, no matter how hard you try. But you can forget. You are, have always been, and will always be a divine part of the divine whole, a member of the body. That is why the act of rejoining the whole, of returning to God, is called remembrance. You actually choose to remember who you really are, or to join together with the various parts of you to experience the all of you, which is to say, the all of me. Your job on earth, therefore, is not to learn, because you already know, but to remember who you are, and to remember who everyone else is. That is why a big part of your job is to remind others, that is, to remind them, so that they can remember also. All the wonderful spiritual teachers have been doing just that. It is your sole purpose. That is to say, your soul purpose.
My God, this is so simple and so symmetrical. I mean, it all fits in. It suddenly all fits. I see now a picture I've never quite put together before.
Good. That's good. That is the purpose of this dialogue. You have asked me for answers. I have promised I would give them to you. You will render my words accessible to many people. It is part of your work. Now you have many questions, many inquiries to make about life. We have here placed the foundation. We've laid the groundwork for other understandings. Let's go to the other questions, and don't worry, if there is something about what we've just gone through you do not understand, it'll all become clear to you soon enough.
There's so much I want to ask. There's so many questions. Suppose I should start with the big ones, the obvious ones. Like, why is the world in the shape it's in?
Of all the questions man has asked of God, this is the one asked most often. From the beginning of time, man has asked it. From the first moment to this, you have wanted to know, why must it be like this? The classic posing of the question is usually something like, if God is all perfect and all loving, why would God create pestilence and famine, war and disease, earthquakes and tornadoes and hurricanes and all manner of natural disaster, deep personal disappointment and worldwide calamity? The answer to this question lies in the deeper mystery of the universe and the highest meaning of life. I do not show my goodness by creating only what you call perfection all around you. I do not demonstrate my love by not allowing you to demonstrate yours. As I've already explained, you cannot demonstrate love until you can demonstrate not loving. A thing cannot exist without its opposite, except in the world of the absolute. Yet the realm of the absolute was not sufficient for either you or me. I existed there in the always, and it is from where you too have come. In the absolute, there is no experience, only knowing. Knowing is a divine state. Yet the grandest joy is in being. Being is achieved only after experience. The evolution is this: knowing, experiencing, being. This is the Holy Trinity, the triune that is God. God the Father is knowing, the parent of all understandings, the begetter of all experience, for you cannot experience that which you do not know. God the Son is experiencing, the embodiment, the acting out of all that the Father knows of itself, for you cannot be that which you have not experienced. God the Holy Spirit is being, the disembodiment of all that the Son has experienced of itself, the simple, exquisite isness possible only through the memory of the knowing and experiencing. This simple being is bliss. It is God's state after knowing and experiencing itself. It is that for which God yearned in the beginning.
What do you guys think? Wasn't that amazing? This made so much sense to me when I heard this. This is something that I feel like I have been shown over and over again, and it resonated so deeply within me. I have said this as long as I can remember. If you are going to call yourself a child of God, then you understand that as a child you have certain rights, certain traits. If the Father is a creator, you are by birthright a creator. When you are made in the image of God, what is the image of God? It's not talking about the physical appearance. Now, as God says, God can make itself in any form and any gender, and that's another thing I want to also discuss, the elephant in the room. If you haven't noticed by now, over the last few videos, the voice of God goes back and forth between a male and a female voice. Now, for some of you, that might rub you the wrong way because you're used to God being this male figure. Most of you, if you are sticking around this long or checking out these videos, are okay with the idea that God goes back and forth between male and female, and that is the divine masculine and the divine feminine. If you've ever watched the movie or read the book The Shack, and God presents itself as a black woman named Papa, that is to throw off your senses so that you're automatically just letting go of this strict ideology, this God that belongs in a box. If you're going to sit here and say that God is the creator of the universe, but God is only a white man, then I'm sorry, we have nothing to talk about. But I do want to address that real quick about why the voices go back and forth between male and female. It's according to the need of the moment. Whenever there's something that is of more divine feminine energy, the voice is going to come across as a woman. Whenever there's something that's more divine masculine energy, it's going to come across as a man. So, with that being said, getting back to the video, when you hear that you're made in the image and the likeness of God, it's not talking about the physical. It's talking about your spirit, your soul, the essence of you, the being of light that you are. Because who you really are is not this body. And you know that. It is not, your soul doesn't even necessarily look like this body. You're talking about pure energy, pure consciousness. Of course, we are made in the image of God. We are a part of God. God here, creating duality, which is the separation, the I am me and you are you and we are two different beings. Duality as the illusion, God creating the illusion of duality to experience itself. How can you know what love is if you've never experienced love? How can you know what jealousy is if you've never experienced jealousy? How can you know what goodness is if you've never experienced goodness? So how can God know the greatness of God? How can God fathom the infinity of God without experiencing? So I think that this is really where things start to kick off and we really start to get deeper answers into who God is and who we are and what that means for all of us. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I am definitely enjoying it. I'm so excited to be able to share this book with you guys. And of course, this is only book 1 of 3 books. So these are going to be going for a while. But if you haven't already checked out the other videos of the Conversations with God, I actually have a playlist that's just Conversations with God videos. So you can go ahead and check that out as well. If this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And also don't forget that notification bell so you never miss out on a video. And if you think there's somebody who would really enjoy this message, you think it would really resonate with them, please share this video with them. The more you share it, the more that we grow this community. I love you guys so much. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.